Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, and welcome to this Let's Play Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we finally made our way towards where the source of all this may be happening, a Slithzerakai city of sorts. Surprising it's so close to the surface. Anyway, it's time to go in and deal with them. Finally put an end to all of this. As you approach the city, a few Sliths come out to meet you. You grab your weapons, but quickly realize that they haven't come out to fight. One of the Sliths eyes you suspiciously. He begins to speak, struggling to pronounce most words. Masters wants to see you. He flicks his tongue and his face suddenly goes blank. After a short moment, his eyes twitch and a snarl reappears on his face. He rigidly turns to leave and hisses as he walks away. Interesting. So it seems like we have a parley. You stand outside the gates and look around. Suddenly you hear some hissing and rustling of feet, and the gates are brought up. Before you can react, a loud voice resonates through your mind. Approach me! It booms. You hesitantly begin to march forward. The Slithzerakai are waiting for you. They stare at you blankly for a moment, and then, without making eye contact, they surround you closely and begin forcefully guiding you towards the large tower to the north. I think I know what this is. They suddenly stop in front of the entrance and stand completely motionless. You stand awkwardly for a moment before the leading Slith says, Enter. Enter. His voice lacks tone and life. You reluctantly decide to enter the foreboding tower. A dragon. You are now facing an enormous dragon. It sits contentedly on its pile of hoarded treasure and gazes at you with its burning red eyes. After a moment, it lets out a breath of black smoke and rumbles as it speaks. So you are the pest who has been causing all the trouble. Welcome to my city. As he speaks, you feel his words echo in your mind, as though he is speaking to you physically and mentally. I'm rather intrigued at how you managed to come this far. I'm sure you have many questions, and I believe you have earned the answers. This enormous dragon breathes heavily, and occasionally flickers of fire twirl out of the end of its nostrils. The room rumbles as he speaks. What do you have to say, human? I want to ask you a few questions. He nods his head slowly. Then ask, and I shall answer. So you are the one behind the attacks. He slowly lets out a long stream of smoke. Attacks? I would not call them attacks. They were merely warnings. The Empire has come and settled in my valley. I do not want them here, and I do not want you here either. You humans are a meddling bunch of creatures. You eat up the land and put yourselves on thrones as if you are worthy of lordship. I have lived within this valley for almost a century, undisturbed until the Empire came. I had to abandon my old lair. It was too close to the surface. So I moved here with the respectable Slith. We did find that lair of his. We may have robbed him, but he left that stuff behind. I don't know. Do the Slith work for you? Work for me? Small streams of flame lick around the edge of his mouth. This concept of yours is primitive. We simply have an agreement. I help them, they help me. And neither of us like you humans. You sense that he has more control over them than he suggests. Yeah, considering the one Slith speaking with no tone or life in him, the way the Sliths seem to be walking so stiffly, I think he does have mental control. Where were you before you came to this valley? Unborn. I was but a hatchling when I arrived here. My mother, as you would call it, was the great dragon Athrax. She found this valley and made it a sanctuary for me. I grew strong here and dwelt with like-minded species. Now I and all the other creatures that live within this valley are united, excluding humans, of course. Athrax. I believe that means this is 100 years after the events of Avernum 3. It makes sense. Do you have any siblings? He eyes you suspiciously. Yes, I do. Athrog, Korath, and Kenar, but I will not tell you where they dwell. He blows some smoke out of his nostrils as a sign of defiance. You shall not disturb them also. Did you create those mutant lizards we encountered? Yes, although I regret it. Those mindless creations of mine were made to hinder you and delay you from getting to me. He doesn't seem at all proud of them. The room's temperature increases along with his temperament. I'm sure you enjoyed killing them like every other reptile you've encountered. Bursts of fire swirl towards you as he speaks, and you cover your face to avoid getting burnt. Any more questions, human? Why don't you want anyone to know you are here? Stupid question. The Empire is notoriously intolerant. You would surely besiege my city if you knew I was here, hence I could not reveal my location to you. Although it seems to be moot now. I don't have any more questions. Why did you summon me here? Very well. You've created a problem for me now that you and your kind know where I am. So therefore you are going to fix the problem for me. I do not wish to move, therefore I demand that you and your kind vacate this valley immediately. If you do not leave, I will soon rise to defeat all of you and your kind. I am sending you on a mission. Convince the Empire to leave, or else I will force them. I highly doubt the Empire will just leave. Then they shall die! A torrent of fire flares out of his mouth. I have devised a plan, and I have been preparing it for the past few nights. If they do not choose to leave very soon, there will be no escaping. What plan? He turns his head to the side and glares at you with one eye. I will not tell you. However, the result will mean the renewal of this valley. It appears that he is smirking. Once I have purged the valley, it will be restored to its former glory. Without you insolent parasites to destroy what was once good. It sounds as though you intend to destroy the valley. You can see my intent quite clearly. That is precisely what I shall do. Once I have destroyed the valley, I will be able to use my magic to begin recreating it. My plan is already in place. It will happen whether I live or die. You cannot stop it. All right, I accept your mission. He smiles contentedly. Very well, human. Go now and leave this valley along with the rest of your kind. With those final words, he mutters a spell, and before you know it, you've been teleported out of his den. Okay, then. That was not the encounter you were expecting. You had hoped for something less terrifying. Nonetheless, you need to get back to Campania immediately and inform them of the situation. Whatever Athrax's plan is to destroy this valley, it must be stopped. No arguments there. Fortunately, we have that portal that'll let us go up and down very easily. Right, around this way, up this way. There's the portal. Alright, let's speak with the mayor. I found the one behind the attacks. It's a dragon named Athrax. Ooh, level ups. The mayor almost chokes on his own tongue. Every time you tell me something new, it's worse than the previous thing you told me. You explain your encounter and Athrax's plan to destroy the valley. Mayor Frey is appalled. Well, well, you did as I asked. Now I have a harder task for you. Stop the dragon's scheme at all costs. It will be difficult, of course, but many lives are at stake. Take this reward and use it to buy supplies and training to prepare you for this mission. I suggest you speak to Dervish Scott for further direction. The mayor slumps down in his chair, his brow furrowed with worry. What is the situation here? Okay, that's just what's going on. Okay, we did level up. Chic. Point of dexterity, sure, why not? Bonnie? No more pre-spells, but you know what? I think it's fun. Oh, actually, we should go outside, take a look at what we can train in. If we can get any better training. Don't think we can get any further training. Oh, no. Oh, we can learn how to play these. We'll definitely save up for return life. I don't think we have any loot we need to sell. No. Alright, so let's talk to the guy in charge here. The dervish. Alright, I found the one behind the attacks. It's a dragon named Athrax. You explain your encounter with Athrax and the plan he has to destroy the valley. He shakes his head. This is far worse than I had anticipated. If we don't figure out what his plan is, we may never be able to stop it. Still, I find it hard to believe that even a dragon has the capacity to carry out this sort of elaborate scheme. There must be someone in this valley who knows more. I'll check my sources, but it may be up to you to discover the truth. As soon as you know anything, return to me and we'll formulate a plan. That doesn't help very much. I have an idea, though. I found the one behind the attacks. It's a dragon named Athrax. His eyes widen. You can't be serious. A dragon? In this valley? You explain your encounter and what Athrax demanded of you. This is very serious. We must act immediately. He scratches his head in search of an answer. You should tell the mayor immediately. I will prepare myself for whatever action may be required. But unless you can learn more about the dragon's plan, we may all be doomed. Well, I think I have an idea of where we can try looking. Or more specifically, who we can try talking to. Specifically, remember that hermit we found? I bet he may know something. Ah, crap, lizards. Fortunately, these lizards are easy to slaughter. Alright, there we go. Now, let's see if this hermit that was in here may know anything. If he's still here. Ah, he is. Hold on. Teach my secrets to a miserable thief? Well, we didn't take anything. Oh. I know who Athrax is, and I think you know something about his plan. His eyes widen. Oh, really? He hesitates, then slumps in resignation. Well, all right. Yes, if you must know. When he first arrived, I was actually glad of the company. I abhor society, but intelligent conversation is something of a rarity around here. He was interested in my research and even asked me to help him set up a lab of his own. It was fun, actually. A pleasant diversion. He claimed to be interested in using lasers to open up veins of gems and ore in the mountains. Typical dragon greed, or so I thought. But that wasn't what he was doing. No, I should have seen it sooner, but only after hearing him rave about the invaders, that's you lot, did it occur to me to be suspicious. When I took a careful look at where exactly he had placed all of his devices, I realized that he meant to hit the fault lines and cause catastrophic destruction throughout the valley. I tried to confront him about it, but he was beyond all reason. The only thing left to do is to flee for our lives, I'm afraid. How can I stop it? It could only be stopped from the main control panel in his lab. As far as I know, the only access to it is through a long tunnel from the Slith City. You couldn't possibly get there. Where is it? I think it's in the extreme southeastern part of the valley, but since it's underground, it was hard to tell. I never intended this to happen. Look, I still think it's impossible for you to stop them, but if you're going to try, I can help you. I programmed the control panel. He pulls out a piece of paper and writes down a series of instructions. Handing it to you, he says, "Follow that precisely, and you should be able to abort the process. But be careful. He may have tried to make changes to the panel since I was last there. The great clumsy beast could have bargled it up. Good luck." Alright. Well, I guess we're at, even though we just took a look in here and didn't actually take anything, it's still too much, and, well, we may as well take these now. You know what? Grab that knowledge brew and use it. That way, we'll be able to get return life. Still, we lost out on some powerful spells we could have used because I did a stupid. And it happened so long ago, no way I can fix it. Alright. Now that we have this, first things first, I'm gonna get the spell trained. Ah, didn't mean to step on that. Okay. In here. First, return life. Only level 1. Not very powerful. Okay, it's some... And now... we have a lead. Dervish Scott, I found out Athrax's plan. You explain your encounter with Forgus the Sage and recount what he told you. After a moment of pondering, his eyes light up. That's it! He grabs his sword and picks himself up off his chair. I know exactly what to do. He rushes out the door. Meet me at the mines in Emerald. Leave through the east gate and follow the main road. It's across the river. With those final words, he departs. I had a feeling something like that would happen. Okay, Mayor Frey has nothing. Let's see if you have anything. No. Well, anyway, we know where we're going and kind of what we're doing. So out we go. Makes sense that we were going to be doing something in the town of Emerald eventually. One of the guards nods at you and opens the gate. Scott must have told them you were coming. Alright, let's go into the mines. I do remember hearing that they were having some problems in the mines, but still. Seems the mines have been abandoned, but you have no idea why. Scott must be waiting for you around here somewhere. I'm not going to grab these bags of ore. I don't think there's a worth to it right now. He's probably not in any of these side passages, but I'm looking in them anyway, just for the sake of uncovering, because, I mean, you know how I am. Silver ore. Yeah, not going to bother taking this ore. Even though I could use the coin, it is very heavy and not worth it. Ah, he's in there. You step into this abandoned mining building and recognize the familiar uniform of Scott. He begins to speak as soon as he sees you. The miners came across this strange tunnel recently, and lizards crawl out now and then. No one has dared venture down there, but strange sounds echo up here. It sounds like machinery. As I was saying, I believe that this coincidental discovery may have something to do with Athrax's plan to destroy the valley. He gestures you onwards. You should investigate it. I'll stay here and wait for you. Of course. I didn't want to go in there because we have loot here that we can take. Very curious. A couple scrolls. Steel arrows, definitely. Unidentified chainmail. Steel longsword, which we can sell. A U-bow. You can use that. The U-crossbow and steel bolts can be sold, and they are valuable. Okay then. Oh, and there's also a resistance elixir. Alright. Well, before we go in, yeah, I'm wasting a bit more time before we do this, but I'm gonna run back, sell, and get identified the stuff we have here, and then I'm probably gonna end the episode. Just because we're kind of at the start of a new thing we're doing, and it seems like a good pause point. Instead of getting started with this whole thing, and then... Alright, identification is up in the corner here. You. Identify this. Steel chainmail. Which is better than the iron. So you are going to wear that. Oh, we have plenty of steel arrows. Well, we have plenty of steel arrows. I wish I could combine them. Wait, maybe if I... Nope, that didn't work. Yeah, somehow those two types of arrows are like completely different steel arrows. I don't know, I don't get it. Anyway. Oh, wait, now we need to sell these things we have. We can sell things to you, so... We are selling that, and that. This is some more coin. We surprisingly have very little coin. So even if we could learn more mage skills, we wouldn't be able to learn very much. Which is a bit of a bother to me. I mean, I'd love to be able to, so we could improve things more, but... I fucked up. I screwed up. Whatever. Anyway, there we go. Next episode, we'll go into these caves and hopefully find a way to put a stop to the dragon's plan. That'll be in the next episode, so until then, I'm Chester44, that is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.